What's happening, everyone, and welcome to CFC Fan TV. Can you please do me a favour? Can you click the subscribe button? It really does help us out when you do that, so we would all really appreciate it. Right, Chelsea are playing West Ham United. It is a huge game and it's a massive London derby. I think that the rivalry between the two clubs is really, really interesting. It's East versus West London, and the antipathy is genuine and it is real hatred. I thought it would be nice to explore quite what the rivalry between Chelsea and West Ham is, and I thought the best thing to do would be to talk to a West Ham fan. So, let's hear what Rob Armstrong has to say. I'm going to start with Rob. Rob, why do West Ham hate Chelsea so much?
Now, for as long as I've supported West Ham, Chelsea has always been the club that I hate the most. It generally changes from now and then. Sometimes I hate Spurs the most. Sometimes I hate Millwall the most. Sometimes I hate Chelsea the most. It's pretty much always Millwall, really. But you don't actually have to go back all that long ago to a time when Chelsea and West Ham were a similar sized club. Pretty much the same size club on opposite sides of London. Now, obviously, since then, in the last, 20 odd years, you've won countless trophies, European Championships, Premier Leagues, had all these world-class players and become a sort of global force, whereas we still jump up and down between the leagues and tend to prop up the rest of the Premier League. But historically, we're similar. We also have that same, maybe slightly darker history on the fan side of having a few naughty fans. Again, West Ham, Millwall, Chelsea, sort of the three top ones in London on that front. But obviously that's nothing to do with me, Rory. I just hate you because I was told to. And I was always told to. At West Ham, you just hate Chelsea, you hate Spurs, and you hate Millwall. And you hate everyone, really.
That's really interesting stuff, and I can confirm to you, Rob, that the feeling is mutual. Now, it's a very interesting season for you, this one, because I think aspirations were quite high to begin with, but it hasn't been ideal, but it was a good result last weekend. The question I want to ask you now is, are you happy with Pellegrini in charge?
As far as Pellegrini goes, I still think I'm happy with him. At first, I was really happy, but I wanted Rafa Benitez. When there was the names that were listed that we might get, it was Roberto Mancini, Rafa Benitez or Manuel Pellegrini. And I thought, I can't complain about any of them. Let's face it, we're going from Moyes to one of them. So it's like going from, a Greggs sausage roll to a steak, at very least. I wanted Rafa Benitez because I thought he was someone who was maybe a little bit more fine-tuned to the club and English fans and sort of understanding the fan base, which is always important with our managers, which is why Bilic lasted so long. But Pellegrini, I had no problems with. Now I'm starting to think, he does have an attacking style, but we're still very bad at defending, which has been a thing for the last 2 or 3 years now. And we seem to concede 4 or 5 quite a lot, which doesn't fill me with hope, given that you've got a 100% record so far. But yeah, at the moment, I can't complain. Look, he's better than Moyes, isn't he? And he's won league titles. How can you argue with it? You can't really.
Now, Rob, I know that I'm speaking for a lot of Chelsea fans here. We're very worried. Fuck off. Just keep running. Now, Rob, I know that I'm speaking for a lot of Chelsea fans here. We are all really worried that you are going to turn into Real Madrid when you play us. It happened before. We've seen it before. You had really, really bad periods of a season. You face Chelsea and all of a sudden you're pinging it about and playing some beautiful football. Is that going to happen again this season?
I think we both have very different memories of West Ham Chelsea games, because maybe over the last couple of years we've had a few good games against you, but generally, growing up, you just used to stuff us every, especially when you still had Lampard. I seem to remember Lampard scoring against us every single time, trying to get on his back by booing him and booing John Terry, and then just losing 3-0 every week. Every week, twice a year. Felt like every week. But yeah, I guess recently we haven't been as bad. I think we got 4 points off you last year, but last year it was one of your dodgy years, wasn't it? This year, you are going like a house on fire, and we really aren't. We did wake up last week. Everton away is not a happy hunting ground for West Ham. So to get the 3-win there was massive for us. And Yarmolenko started over Snodgrass. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that if you start your £20 million signing from Borussia Dortmund, he might be a little bit better than your Scottish bloke who was playing at Villa in the Championship last year? Snodgrass has been better this season than we thought he was, but Yarmolenko is clearly a class above, and I think that showed last week. As well as maybe there being a little bit more order in the midfield and the defence, and Declan Rice coming in and doing a great job, who we nicked off your academy, I believe. Jack Wilshere, injured. There's a thing. I suppose that didn't really need saying, did it? So you don't have to worry about him this weekend. But yeah, I imagine we'll go for a similar squad, and hopefully Arnautovic and Yarmolenko will be the danger men that tear you apart. But I am sceptical, as I always am.
Now, I'm sorry to do this to you, Rob, but I have to dream for a minute. Do you know how happy I will be if West Ham United go down? Is that a genuine possibility?
I am fully aware, Rory, how happy you'd be if West Ham go down. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening because there are some really, really, really terrible teams in the Premier League. Like, how can Cardiff, Huddersfield, arguably Southampton, Brighton? Surely not. Surely they can't finish above us. Mind you, Brighton did the double over us last year, and so far we've managed to lose to Bournemouth at home, so we are pretty much capable of losing to anyone, and Wolves at home. So we can lose to anyone. But I don't think we'll go down. I think we'll be all right. I think it's a case that we spent 100 million quid in summer, have a million different players who need to gel, and it finally looks like we might be finding the right team. I'm confident, Rory, that we won't be going down, which is rare, especially in September. Normally by this point, I'm convinced we're going down, and I'm already booking my tickets to Barnsley for the away games next year.
Oh, mate, thank you so much, Rob. It's been really, really interesting to hear you say that. Before I let you go, can I push you for a score prediction, please?
Score prediction for tomorrow. Rory, I'm going to have to say my head says you win 4-1, but my heart says West Ham sneak a 6-0 victory, or maybe just a 1-0 like last season. Arnautovic to score. But like I say, I'm very much going for my heart here instead of my head. I think you've got a brilliant team this year. I think Sarri is doing an incredible job. You won that game in Europe, which those Europa League games, I know they're not against the high caliber opposition like the Champions League is, but they're not easy, especially those away games. And the way you just kind of cruised it, I know it was only 1-0, but it could have been more. Sarri's doing a great job, 100%. Jorginho, wonderful signing. You're even doing that despite the fact Morata's doing his best never to score. So I'm hopeful that we'll sneak a 1-0 win and end your record, but let's face it, probably not going to happen. Hey, but I'm a West Ham fan, aren't I? So 1-0 West Ham, Arnautovic, just like last year. God, it's not going to happen, is it?
There you have it. It's very interesting, in my opinion, to hear what somebody like Rob from a different club has to say about the rivalry with Chelsea. If you like this style of video, can you do me a favour? Can you give it a thumbs up? Just so we can monitor it, and if you like it, we'll do it again, and, well, if you don't, you don't, and you'll never see it again. Do me a favour, comment below, let me know your score predictions, and if you haven't subscribed, please do it right now.